Good evening, everyone, and to our dear teacher, Ma'am Dayan. I am Julian Naive, and I am the first reporter of Group 5. So tonight, we are going to tackle Chapter 5, Development of Varied Assessment Tools, Knowledge, and Reasoning. So this chapter is based on Bloom's taxonomy that is concerned with developing objective tests for assessing the attainment of educational objectives. So I know we are all familiar on what is Bloom's taxonomy since natakal na natin to last meeting. Bloom's taxonomy comprises three learning domains, the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, and assigns to each of these domains a hierarchy that corresponds to different levels of learning. For this purpose, we are going to know the following types of objective tests, namely, true or false items, multiple choice type items, matching items, enumeration and filling of blanks, and lastly, the essays. The first four types of objective tests is used to test the first 4 to 5 levels of the hierarchy of educational objectives, which is the knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, and synthesis. While the last type of objective test, which is the essay, it is used for testing higher order thinking skills or the evaluation. So tonight, all of these types of objective tests we're going to tackle by our group. Now, as future educators, the development of objective tests requires a careful planning and expertise in terms of actual test construction. The more seasoned teachers can produce true or false items that can test even higher order thinking skills and not just rote memory learning. Essays are easier to construct than the other types of objective tests, but the difficulty with which objective grades are derived from essay examinations often discourage teachers from using this particular form of examination in actual practice. Okay, so mamaya, mas ma-explain pa ni Mr. Errol Nawal ang essay, but for now, let us now move on planning a test and construction of table of specifications. So the important steps in planning for a test are, first, identifying test objectives, deciding on the type of objective test to be prepared, preparing a table of specifications, constructing the draft test items, tryout, and validation. So let us now first discuss the first step, which is identifying test objective. An objective test, if it is to be comprehensive, must cover the various levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Each objective consists of a statement of what is to be achieved and preferably by how many percent of the students. For example, our topic was about subject-verb agreement for a grade 5 class. The following are typical objectives. As you can see, we have here the 6 levels of learning of the hierarchy of educational objectives, namely knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, and synthesis are the evaluation. The first stage, which is the knowledge, the students must be able to identify the subject and the verb in a given sentence. In comprehension, the students must be able to determine the appropriate form of a verb to be used given the subject of a sentence. In application, the students must be able to write sentences observing rules on subject-verb agreement. In analysis, the students must be able to break down a given sentence into its subject and predicate. And lastly, on synthesis or the evaluation, the students must be able to formulate rules to be followed regarding subject-verb agreement. Okay, so let us now proceed on the second step in planning for a test, which is deciding on the type of objective test. The test objectives guide the kind of objective tests that will be designed and constructed by the teacher. For instance, for the first 4 levels, we may want to construct a multiple choice type of test, while for application and judgment, we may opt to give an essay test or a modified essay test. Okay, so that is deciding on the type of objective test. Now let us now move on the third step, which is preparing a table of specifications or the TOS. A table of specifications, or TOS, is a test map that guides the teacher in constructing a test. The TOS ensures that there is a balance between items that test lower-level thinking skills and those which test higher-order thinking skills, or alternatively, a balance between easy and difficult items in the test. Okay, so here an example of table of specifications. As you can see, it consists of 4 columns. The first column is the level of objective to be tested. The second column is the statement of objective. Third is the item numbers where such an objective is being tested. And the next column is the number of items and percentage out of the total for that particular objective. In the table of specifications, we see that there are 5 items that deal with knowledge, and these items are items 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Similarly, from the same table, we see that 5 items represent synthesis, namely 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. The first 4 levels of Bloom's taxonomy are equally represented in the test. While application is tested through essay, it is weighted equivalent to 10 points or double the weight given to any of the first 4 levels. The table of specifications guide the teacher in formulating the test. As we can see, the TOS also ensures that each of the objectives in the hierarchy of educational objectives is well represented in the test. As such, resulting to that will be constructed by the teacher will be more or less comprehensive. Without the table of specifications, the tendency for the test maker is to focus too much on facts and concepts at the knowledge level. Okay, so let us now move on the next step in planning for a test, which is constructing the test items. The actual construction of the test items follows the TOS. As a general rule, it is advised that the actual number of items to be constructed in the draft should be doubled the desired number of items. For instance, if there are 5 knowledge level items to be in the final test form, then at least 10 knowledge level items should be included in the draft. The subsequent test tryout and the item analysis will most likely eliminate many of the constructed items in the draft. Either they are too difficult, too easy, or non-discriminatory. Hence, it will be necessary to construct more items than will actually be included in the final test form. Okay. So that is constructing the test items. Let us now proceed on the last step, which is item analysis and tryout. The test draft is tryout to a group of pupils or students. The purpose of this tryout is determine the item characteristics through item analysis and characteristics of the test itself, validity, reliability, and practicality. Okay, so that is the last step, which is the item analysis and tryout. So that is all for my report. Thank you very much. So let us now proceed on the next reporters. They will now discuss the types of objective tests. Again, thank you very much.